Hello, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Sunday night? Hey, it's game night. How many times do we have a show on the same night that there's a game? Kind of lucky that Inter Miami's playing so late. You know, what's early in LA is late for us over here on the East Coast. So it should be a lot of fun to talk about some LA Galaxy versus Messi tonight. We'll dig into like injuries and new players and all that kind of fun stuff. Season's upon us. So, man, is it exciting to talk about all that. But usually I have a what was it? There was a German newspaper that's this guy that's normally my co-host. He was interviewed in this German newspaper, and they described him as a 53-year-old balding man with square glasses. Well, that balding man's not with us. We got somebody much cooler to join us tonight, and that is Marco. Everybody from the Spanish show, welcome Marco tonight. Speaking English.
Hey, Peter. Brown.
Hey, you speak English. I didn't know. If I watched a Spanish show, I would never know.
Well, who knew, huh? Who knew that was going to be like that, huh? Here we are ready, man. Ready for another game. You know, the season started, and that's the most exciting thing, right? To see Inter Miami now.
It was funny is my wife was saying she felt like the off season was long. And I said, you know what? It was actually one of the shorter off seasons that we've had, but it did feel long. I mean, it was just like had an excitement last year with winning the League's Cup and everything like that, and we just wanted to get right back into it. And here we are getting right back into it. So before we go too much further talking about all the ins and outs of the games, we have a little bit of business to do, and also we have a fun guest to start off the show with tonight as well. But before we get to that, let's say a big thank you to our sponsors, and let's start off with Caneswear. Caneswear is located in Davie, Florida, just south of 595 on University Drive. I was just there this weekend. I was just at Caneswear on yesterday, shopping. I had to buy a birthday present for a friend, and I actually filmed the video there. So you're going to see a video coming out in a few days of me buying some birthday presents at Caneswear. Caneswear's got the best. Caneswear has the best selection of Inter Miami of Messi gear in South Florida for the best prices. They are cheaper at Caneswear than they are at the stadium. So go to Caneswear and show them some love. Local business, support them. Also, let's say a big thank you to Mia Rodrigues. You want to buy or sell a house? Marco, this is the person you need to use if you want to buy a house.
She's a Messi of the real estate, man. She's a GOAT, for real.
She is the GOAT of all realtors, as Ed likes to call her. She speaks 3 languages: Portuguese, Spanish, English, you name it. She's all over South Florida, and she's also on TV. If you want to go follow her on The American Dream, she's on all those networks. And as far as last I heard, she's looking for people. So check out Mia. All right, Marco. Before we get digging into the games, thought it'd be fun. We are super happy to announce we have a new sponsor here for Futbol Miami TV. So we haven't really done this before, but I thought it'd be a really fun way to introduce the sponsor. We should talk to the sponsor, let you guys get to know our sponsor, and learn about his passion for soccer and learn about his business. So let's not dilly-dally any longer. Let's get right to Jerry. Jerry, how are you doing tonight?
How are you guys? How are you, Marcos, Peter?
Hi, Jerry.
So excited to be with you live.
Yes, live here. Jerry has got a company, and hands-on builders, and you see the Hob for You is, and the website's hobforyou.com, HOB4U.com. But before we get into your business, Jerry, just had to know, what is your soccer story? Everybody, you're promoting your business on a soccer channel. So, you were telling me a little bit before the show, but why are you interested in? How'd you get interested in soccer?
So it's when I was a lot younger, when I was a little kid, actually 6 years old, I started playing tennis in Cuba. I was born in Cuba.
Oh,
Came
nice.
here when I was really, really, really small.
What part of
Uh,
Cuba? I've been there.
uh, Villa Clara, Las Villas,
Okay,
a little town called
I went to Santiago, right? Yeah,
Santiago.
de Cuba.
Santiago.
Yeah.
But I've never been to Santiago. I've never been to Havana. I left when I was really small.
Hmm.
So I always liked sports in general. And my sport here in the US has always been football, basketball, baseball. And I have a friend of mine who follows the Premier League a lot. And he used to tell me, "Hey Jerry, why don't you watch Saturday Manchester United with one of those teams, Liverpool?" And I would be like, "No, man, soccer is too boring."
That's what everybody
And
says.
and I remember when I was in college, I in my art class, I met a lady, and the class was about modern art, and I didn't quite like modern art at the time. I was more like a classical kind of guy, Michelangelo, those kind of guys. And but she said something that I never forget. She said, "I like what I know." And so when Messi came into Inter Miami, I started watching the game. Obviously, at the time, I didn't quite understand the game, but then as I got into it, I can tell you that now the only thing I watch is soccer. I don't watch
Nice.
basketball no more. I don't watch baseball no more. I just watch soccer, 2, 3 games a day, and is very for me is very interesting because it's kind of like chess. There's a lot. It's not about scoring.
Hmm.
There's a lot to it that I really enjoy. Intellectually, I think it's not just a sport, but there's a lot to it. There's a lot of knowledge that goes into getting, and Marco can
Yeah.
obviously talk about it more, but there's a lot to it. And I wish sometimes that the media would sort of, or actually the league would take a little bit more time to educate people, the fans, not just to watch the game for the scoring, but everything else that happens around the game before you can actually see a goal, a team score a goal, So,
Yeah. Well,
uh, and then I found you guys, and I really enjoy watching your show and Uncle Ed. And I think you guys do a fantastic job in explaining a lot of things that we don't get in the other news outlets. So the job that you guys are doing is amazing for people like myself. We are learning, and we learn from. I learn a lot from you, Peter, from Marcos, from Ed. I enjoy your show tremendously. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate
thanks a
that.
lot, Jerry. It was interesting. Interested to talk. We had a couple of comments sharing earlier with Jerry about tactics and formations. Like I told Jerry, the thing about soccer is that everybody sees it differently, and at the same time they see it the same. You know how the game goes, but at the same time the little changes that goes with player and players. And Jerry's really savvy. I mean, I was really impressed when we were talking about different players and how to move them around. So yeah, good to hear that, Jerry. Interesting story.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so let's dig into a little bit about your company and Hands-On
Sure.
Builder. What exactly you guys do? I know you do some custom houses. So tell everybody what kind of services you provide.
So as you will see in the graphics, and we're gonna try to vary those, and from time to time we're gonna send you graphics or videos that show more like live pictures or live videos of as we make progress on the houses. We have a in-house design team. We sit down with our clients, and uh, we learn from what it is that day one in a house, and we design it from the ground up, and then we build it for them. And then we also work with some banks that actually do the financing for the construction. Not all the banks, your typical banks. I'm not going to name any banks, but not all your banks are tailored to single-family home construction. And we help our clients obtain financing if they need financing. I am by trade. I went to University of Miami, graduated in 1995 as an architect. I have both my licenses, including my state certified general contractor, and I've been doing this for the last 20. Graduated in '95. Went to do the Aruba Airport.
That's
And
cool.
I really enjoy the execution part of the business, the design part, and we take a lot of pride in the quality of the houses, the custom homes that we build. Um,
So if anybody's looking to have a custom home built, you're the guy for them. What other kind of services do you provide? Are there? So we know you do the big projects. You do homes. Do you do smaller projects as well?
we do a lot of office build outs,
That's good.
and we take a lot of pride. If somebody we don't advertise.
Right.
We I just ran into your show, and I decided to do this. But if somebody needs to remodel their house, we do it. I had one of my biggest clients I met down in the Keys, and we were doing a house, and he needed somebody to change a door,
Mhm.
and I did it for them. And then it ended up that we actually doing two houses for that client right now, because you can't just, like, if Marco needs a door, I'll go ahead and do the door. I'm not
I
going to
need a
talk
cave,
to Marco.
man. I need a
Only
cave,
when
Jerry.
he needs a big house.
Yeah, we got to get with Jerry and just start talking, dreaming up your Marco's man cave. Like
There you go.
come up
Be
with
my
some
cave, man.
cool
You know,
concepts.
Absolutely. We listen. It's like when you know how it is. Like if your AC goes out, and that's what here in Miami, in South Florida, if your AC goes out, nobody wants to hear that. Hey, it's Saturday. I can't fix your AC. So sometimes people call me because they need a leave for, like, I need a plumber, I need an electrician. So I listen and I help people out, and
Awesome.
anything that comes after that is an extra.
Awesome. Well, Jerry, this is awesome. And Jerry and I were talking. Marco, you didn't hear this. He's going to join us one of these days for one of the construction videos at the stadium, so that he can tell a dummy like me what I'm actually looking at. So this will be fun. Sometime in the near future, look for Jerry on one of our videos, giving some real professional insight into what we're seeing.
That would be
Actually,
really
your
nice.
videos have been very informative, Peter.
Yeah, but they're fun. Hey, look, it was one of those things that I decided to do, and it kind of put our channel on the map a little bit. So, and I think sometimes people like the dumbed down version that I provide, but it would be nice to hear a professional version sometime in the near future. So that'll be a lot of fun. So Jerry, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks so much for sponsoring and becoming part of the Futbol Miami TV family. We really appreciate it and look forward to more in the future.
Thank you so much. Glad to be with you.
Jerry, for
Thank
the
you.
support.
All right, Jerry, we're going to let you go and let everybody just start complaining about tonight's game. Thanks a lot, Jerry. See you soon.
See you soon, Jerry. Let's see if we win tonight.
All right, my fun switcher that I'm trying to use isn't cooperating. There we go.
Yeah, got to talk to
All right,
Jerry
Marco,
about
one
the
thing I
team, man.
forgot
That's
to
what I
do with getting Jerry on the line is I forgot to say hello to everybody in the chat. So thanks to everybody in the chat for hanging with us for a minute. I know some of you probably came in here thinking, why am I talking construction? Well, we just thought if we're gonna have somebody sponsor us, that we should give them a few minutes to let you guys get to know them. So because we never know, some of our viewers may need an office build, may need a custom home. Some of you guys, that may be the farthest thing from your mind because you're just barely scratching by to live in your apartment. But I think hit so many different demographics that this is going to be really cool. But before we go too much further, Marco, and we start bantering about whatever we're going to talk about, because I don't have a real agenda, let's say hello to those people in the chat. And the first person I see is Diego Marino. Hey, Diego. Everybody, we're 15 minutes in, so the people have been able to get it going. Also have Supreme in here as well.
Name.
B King sitting on the west side. West side's getting more and more expensive, B King. One World, One Goal is here. Uncle Ed driving. Okay, listen.
Look who's there.
Listen, wait, hang on. Let's pause. Let's pause. This guy, Uncle Ed, anytime I miss a show. Now, granted, most of the time I miss shows, I'm in Disney. But he loves to give me a hard time that, why don't you just move there? Why don't you just move to Disney? Because you love going up there so much. You know what? Uncle Ed is spending a little too much time with the old folks in Ocala. My man there. Next thing you know, Marco, we're going to hear about Uncle Ed relocating to Ocala. He's going to go hang out in the villages.
He feels famous now after that interview with the German newspaper.
I know. And did you see how they described him? They described him as a 53-year-old balding man with square glasses. I love that description.
So now you have a character. You know what I mean? Not only that he has his picture, but
I told him I'm going to introduce him that way every week now. All right. Also, is Kevin Gonzalez is here, the best photographer. Chris Arjun. Damian Guzman is predicting a hat trick by Messi tonight. We'll get to that. Francisco Garcia's. Okay. ¿Cómo? Pablo Galasso. GFR is saying Campana needs to start. I agree. Totally. Let's see if Marco agrees in just a minute. Louis Rodrigues, everybody's troublemaker. Daniel Rodriguez. Patrick Barnhill. He was hanging out with us this past game. Brought us a few beers. It was very nice of him. Ash Pritam is there. Strong Frog is in the chat.
Frog. Look at that.
I like that. I like that handle. Jose Velasquez is here. Uh-oh. Seems like we might have another guest joining as well, but we'll get to him in just a minute. Guyver is here as well. Alfredo Aguilar. Man, we got a full house tonight. Louis Rodriguez. Kata wants to see Robert Taylor goal tonight.
Could happen.
Miguel, and then some words I'm not going to try to say because I'll butcher it. Eric Thomas is here. And I'm scrolling, just seeing some of the same people over and over again. PJ93. And we just talked to him. He's welcoming. That's Jerry, by the way. He's welcoming Redondo. All right. Kata saying he respects it. Peter, season tickets go up and FMTV sponsors go up too. hey, we got to have somebody help pay for the tickets, right? Somebody's got to help pay for the tickets. But look who decided to show up, Marco. Look who decided to show up. Oh, did he just? There he is.
Man, look, the most famous man right now in the South area, huh? But he's in the north. What are you doing up there, buddy?
Signal. Hey guys, the signal's a little bad. Hopefully you can hear me.
Yep, we can hear you. It's a little choppy, but we can hear you.
Okay, good. Sounds good. No, man, just haven't left yet. Wanted to tell you guys you're doing a good job. Marco is close to taking my job away. So, everybody's liking him more so far.
Be careful, Uncle. Be careful.
Well,
That
I
is
just wanted to do one complaint before I leave, so you guys can keep talking about it because I know I'm a little choppy. Just with Inter Miami not sending me my password or whatever they have to send me so I can watch the game. Now I'm gonna have to pay for a month because they didn't do their job.
We should talk about that too.
that is true. I had the same issue as Uncle Ed, and I was tweeting out about it online as well. I sent what I would call a nasty email to the team as well. I thought mine was nice until I saw Uncle Ed's email, and mine was nasty by comparison to Uncle Ed. His email was very nice. Mine was a little more terse. But so it's an issue. I've talked about it on this channel quite a bit that over the years I don't get the Inter Miami members email, the season ticket members email. They've never been able to resolve it. I've generally, for the most part, just kind of glossed it over, like whatever, no big deal. I get some. Friends of mine will send me them, things like that. But this one hurt. But this one hurt because I need to be able to watch the games, and I did not get the kind of customer service that I would expect. The problem is you don't even get a response half the times. So, that is one of the biggest issues I have with this. Yes. And so what I had to do.
That one, because it's got a lot of racket over here to the family. I don't know if you guys can see, but there you go.
There we go. We got the family background.
I'm going to let you guys go. Do your thing, and the signal's kind of bad, so I'll see you guys. I'll be watching.
All right, we'll see you.
Uncle. Keep being famous.
Bye.
All right, so as I was saying
about the customer service thing, I had an issue too last time in the game. I had an issue with my seats.
So tell me about, before we get into tonight's game, because we have about 30 something minutes to talk about tonight's game, but let's talk about issues that we've been having. What issue did you have?
I didn't have my seats. I had to.
What do you mean? How do you not have your seats?
They had the section, where I bought these tickets. They had the typical seats are like rolled down, grounded to the rail or whatever. They were not there. They had to relocate me, but not only that, they had to send me I had to walk all around the stadium because you don't have any more access through because I was on West Side. So
you could only go one side.
Yeah, so it was like a headache, man. Going back to try to tell them, hey, I don't have a seat. They relocated me to a different seat.
So,
and then, like you said, nobody answers. Like when you text your sales rep or stuff, they take too long. Customer service is horrible. I think it's something that everybody's going through. I hope this gets to big management.
So I will tell you, I don't have connections, but I know people that have connections, and I could tell you this: that the issue that Ed and I had, of course, not your issue because didn't know the details. But the issue that Ed and I have was shared with Jorge Mas. Mm-hmm. We got a message back from Jorge, not personally, but through this intermediary, that he's going to look into it and do what he can. Of course, and I appreciate that. But look, I think this is all stuff that's way below Jorge Mas. This is true. You could blame him because it's his organization.
Yeah.
And did he not put the right people in place to do the right things? In that regard, you could blame Jorge. But look, in my company, I do graphics. Okay? The owner of the company can't be blamed if I do something poor in the graphics department. I'm not going to go into the details of what I do because it's complicated. But it's not his fault. It's my fault and the person that hired me, right? But it still reflects poorly on the owner. And I think that's where we are here. I don't know if this is directly Jorge's fault. I'd probably say it's not, but it does reflect poorly on him because of the customer service. It's just not good enough. And we talk about. Go ahead.
I'm saying, and it won't. And not only that, but you have people that are frustrated with the rises on prices of season tickets. And then by that, having also to deal with this stuff of lack of customer service or sympathy, some type of I always say like an empathic way of seeing the client, not knowing that they're paying for this and not getting what they want, resembles bad on the team, on the owner, and also makes, creates this bad energy or bad, reciprocity, you could say, because in the future, what's going to happen next season, Messi will not be here or the following one, and there won't be that much of a motivation to get in because there's like a lack of sympathy for the clients, not only as a fan, but as a customer,
Yeah, my email to them was kind of touching a little bit on that, in that, I said something to the effect that the prices keep going up to astronomical measures.
Yep.
And the customer service does not equal the price that we're paying. I've had this email issue, and you could blame it. You could blame it on me. I don't care. You could. Although this is my main email that I get every junk mail in the world. Everybody else can seem to get it, but that's not even. So what? If Inter Miami has a problem with that one email address, let's use a different one. And I've given them a different one. Guess what? They've never applied it. I actually gave them a different email address this week. I've not yet heard back. So, look, if this email address is causing problems in your system, let's use a different email address. And the funny thing is, how tied we are to Apple now with MLS Season Pass? My email is an Apple email address. Folks, I have a Mac.com email address. There's not a lot of those out there because nowadays Apple doesn't give out Mac.com anymore because there's too many of them. They give out like iCloud or stuff like that. Like if you have an iPhone, you have an iCloud email address. Sure. I have a Mac.com email address. It's an Apple email address. It works. But the biggest issue is they haven't taken the measures to resolve the problem. There's no resolution. And you start to get the feeling that they don't care because they know that if I don't renew, they have another person right behind me that will take my seat as long as Messi is on this team. Once he's gone, they may have a different issue, and they may have an issue filling those seats. But as of right now, they don't have to care, and that's terrible.
They feel in their comfort zone. They just don't care, like you said. That's the way. That's the way it shows.
At least that's how it feels.
Yep.
I
agree with you totally. I mean, I hope this connection gets it to him, and he kind of like sees a little more and makes a little details and changes inside the organization, like you said. Because I also think it's a lower level thing, but it needs to be corrected, man, for us to look better. And
Yeah, and Pablo Galasso is saying, and I never even got the survey. There was a survey that went out. Survey kept mentioning world-class players, so I think they plan on always having a star player from now on. Not sure they care about the OG fans. I heard about the survey. A friend of mine told me that it said stuff like, would you be willing to pay 5% more every year for the next 5 years, or would you rather get hit with one large raise? Would you, if we got X star player, would you pay this? If you got that star player, would you pay that? All that kind of nonsense. And, they also like to talk about, and we did a food review that's going to come out. And part of the food review, the reason I wanted to review this food item was because in their email, they talk about it being an elevated culinary experience. And I will tell you, well, just watch the video. I question that elevated experience is what I'm going to say. And if I'm spending more money, I want to have a more elevated experience. And you could say, oh, they only care about the people on the West. I have a friend that spends a lot of money. I'm not going to say the amount because that's not fair to him. But he spends a lot of money on his tickets. And we've sat in those seats before. You've seen some videos of me and Ed sitting in these seats. Amazing seats. He has access to the midfield club. He used to also have access to the West club as well. West Zone club, whatever it's called. He no longer has access to that club. They've removed the access from some of the highest paying customers. They removed benefits from people. So
yeah, I heard that too.
Anyways, I was actually going to save this rant for a whole separate video, but once you get me rolling, it's hard to stop.
It's good to throw it out there. Yeah, I mean, at least I mean, we know our streamers, our viewers also go through a lot of this, and maybe they can see it's not only them, and hopefully this gets reciprocated to them, you know?
And one last thing I'll say, this issue with the email, some people could still, again, think, well, this is just a Peter issue. My sales rep did say, you're not the only one. We have several people that have this issue. We don't know what to do about it.
I heard that too. I heard about other people. And
my sales rep, I think, for the most part, has done a good job. He doesn't always respond quickly. Is he overworked? Maybe that's it. Yeah. Anyways, I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole. I'm going to give him until maybe like Tuesday to resolve my issue. I had to pay for a month of MLS season pass just so I could watch tonight. I'm not going to go without watching the game. I had to pay, but I should get it for free. And so hopefully they resolve my issue and by say early this week. If not, you'll probably see another video of me going into more detail, bitching and moaning about their customer service with this team.
We have to do it, man, because we can't have Uncle Ed lose the other kidney, man. So
that's right. Things have gotten expensive enough. All right,
without even doing the right things.
Before we get into the game, let's do this. Let's listen to one voicemail, because the voicemail might set us in the direction of talking about the actual game.
Let's go.
It's time for your voicemail.
Hello.
Hey, Peter and Don Bear is with us today. I believe it should be exciting. And Uncle Ed, we miss you. It's Italia 1-0 one goal. Woohoo! We finally had a little bit of exciting attacking soccer that first half. And then it got a little sluggish the second half. And then it really ramped up towards the end. So nice to get a clean sheet and see some creativity. I love seeing Messi chipping the injured player on the ground. And they had some firepower and some shots and generating some enthusiasm. So excited to see that. I happened to watch the old 2001 game that was on. There's a little bit of fusion history on MLS, which of course I'm upset there isn't more. But on the MLS season pass, there is the All-Star Games. I was watching that. And of course we had the excitement. Ray Hudson was coaching the East, and we had like all these great players, a lot of the fusion guys. And of course my Diego Furnace 17 had this amazing, his first pass of the game, and then they pass it back, and his second touch of the game is almost a bicycle kick. And, you know, it was just super exciting. We had Landon Donovan, Pablo Mastroeni, Brian McBride, Marco Echeverri, Preki. I mean, the names go on and on and on. So although we had these big name fellas with our new Fantastic Four, I think it's a matter of like getting them more engaged on a personal level with the fans. Like you see, there was a lot more, you know, interaction after the game with them signing signatures, giving away the jersey to a kid instead of like swapping it with a player that can afford to buy his jersey. It would be cool if they had an extra Messi jersey and he threw it into the stands. I mean, you know, picked out a kid in the stands so that the kid gets it instead of people fighting over it. And anywho, hopefully they work out the glitches on the MLS season pass and the, you know, getting emails. I know I had to have a Gmail, and then maybe they jumped because they see that Turner name in there. But I know that I had to re-download a whole nother. When they changed out the original website, all those emails got lost, and the original app and all that got blocked. And then you had to put it over to your other. I mean, I have like 2 Gmails, so I put it over to the other one, and then I was getting everything. So I know Peter is so frustrated, and Ed, and I think Danny from Battered Herons, a few people of the old-time, diehard, hardworking fans are not getting links to click on the pass. They're not getting links to parking and various other snafus or invited to parties. So hopefully it ramps up this year and then gets even more exciting when we finally get the stadium open. Okay, love you guys. Love the show.
All right. So my I know my issue has got nothing to do with their switching servers, because I've never gotten their messages. And I know they have my email because my ticket rep, what he'll do, and like this was my complaint to the team, is that I have to rely on my ticket rep to individually send me the updates of whatever it is, and he'll do it when he remembers. Now, he doesn't send me everything. That's the thing. But when he does remember, he'll send me something. Like, for example, he sent me something I don't know, maybe a month ago, 3 weeks ago, saying, hey, parking is going to be, there's going to be some more information about parking coming soon, right? So then 3-4 days go by. I don't hear anything. We're getting close. So I email him saying, hey, I just want to make sure I don't miss out about the parking. I'm interested in buying the year-long parking, blah, 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 blah. He says, nope, you haven't missed out about it. Don't worry. Give it another few days. I hear nothing. Eventually, I finally text him at this point saying, hey, and basically, this is the day before the game now, and there was an email that was sent out that I didn't get, and this is the one that he didn't send me. He sent me all the ones that were about, hey, warning, it's coming. He didn't send me the one that actually had the actual link to click on to buy the said parking.
Giving you all this hype, all this hope,
right.
all this hype, and you don't get it.
Right.
Oh
so that's what's even. It's like I'm upset at him to some extent, but I mean, I don't know. Anyways, we can't go on and on.
To a certain point, like you said, it's hard to just go on one person when the organization is failing as a whole. Because it's not only with you, and it's kind of weird because why not try to get with tech support or something, them on their end to try to fix these little glitches? And I don't think it's going to be hard to create maybe like a what's it called? Rule or something where you can make the same system send or resend emails to the people that have missed it, or that have complained that they're missing it. So it's kind of weird too, and I guess, like you said, maybe the thing that they show, the perception that I get is they're probably getting overworked. That's my perception, and they don't care too much about details because they want to try to resolve as much as they can on the bigger side, and they don't care about the.
I think there's something to the overworked part because I remember the very beginning. I went to the Inter Miami offices down in the Jorge Mas, Coral Gables building, wherever it was. And it was in the very beginning, before the team launched. And they had like 3 or 4 sales reps, for selling tickets. And they told me all these desks are going to be full sales reps. That never happened. It never happened. They never hired all those other people. It was only ever 3 or 4 reps for the entire year one. Now, I don't know if it got better, but I know for year one, that was the case. So if you told me today it's in the same situation where they're being overworked, I totally believe it because I saw it. So I would totally believe it. All right, enough of this nonsense.
I agree.
Let's talk about first. I wanted to talk about before we get into tonight's game because this guy is not going to play tonight, but I still just wanted to kind of touch on it and get your thoughts because as I hear Marco, you tend to get a little more analytical. And I'm not that analytical.
I like to see the sport in the like our new sponsor was talking earlier, Jerry, a chess game, because there's little details that when you're in the field, if you put a little more focus to what the players are doing and how they move, you can see how the coach kind of works in their mind and in the way they kind of play, So.
Yeah. Whatever. The words you said. But let's get your thoughts and everybody else in the chat's thoughts on the newest signing. Inter Miami finally landed their what could be a huge. Everybody, at least on the internet. Look, I've never seen the kid play, so I can't pretend like I know much about him other than the hype. The hype is big on this kid, Redondo. I know he's got a famous dad, but we don't care about that. It's about him as the player. And a defensive midfielder, I guess, is kind of in the same situation, similar position as Busquets, I'm guessing. Everybody's got so much hype about this guy. Granted, he's young, so that's great. If we could keep him for a period of time, although you never know if he does well, do they sell him and all that kind of stuff. So who knows how long he's with his team. But what are you excited about this player, Redondo, Marco, or just whatever?
I mean, he's definitely a good player. He's the son of Redondo, the team in the 90s, and has a good, reference by his dad. But not only that, I mean, he's been playing in Argentina in the league, playing good inside the league itself. And he just played on the national team for the pre-Olympics, and he was doing a good job. I mean, the guy, like you mentioned, the guy pretty much has the same type of skills and quality as Busquets. Respecting Busquets, obviously, because Busquets has his it's time on the game. But this kid looks, and it's a good promise for Inter Miami and for the future of Inter Miami as well. Whenever we get to sell him something, but he has the same. Imagine Busquets when he was younger, kind of like
right.
that.
So I mean,
as a 5, trying to go out and play, and give passes to the offensive side and doing the recovery and the gameplay, whatever.
So that's great, and especially great for next year, or when we don't have Busquets.
Yeah.
But I'm curious. Do you think we usually have 2 defensive midfielders on the field at the same time. You've got Busquets, and then you've had Gregory. Can Redondo, while Busquets is still here, can Redondo be that Gregory replacement while we wait for, say, Busquets to retire?
Yep. Yeah, I see that coming. I think that's the idea of buying
I would
this
think.
player, That's the idea, and that's why they let go of Gregor. Gregor was, of course, older than him, so you have more potential here because a kid, it's coming with when fresh blood to play in a position that needs that type of I can say physique, maybe that type of stamina. Try to play hard and not and try to do more. And then Busquets being so close to retirement, you have this guy that's going to come and change that.
Well, it makes sense to say, even if he spends time, like here, Chris Arjun saying in the chat, Redondo is playing with Busquets in midfield or on the bench, right? So it could be also a scenario where if they feel like he's super young and super green, that they just kind of bring him in slowly and he plays when, say, Busquets doesn't play. I mean, that's possible. Yeah. But I mean, when you spend the kind of money they talked about spending. Now, I don't remember what the exact final number was, but I know it was like somewhere 7 or 8 million. Then they came down to something around 5. They had to keep bringing it down because Redondo, and this will be interesting next year, because Redondo is a U22 initiative player to replace Farias due to injury. So they had to keep bringing down the not the salary, but the sell, because that factors into everything.
The gap, right?
Because he couldn't cost more than Farias. So they had to keep bringing it down, pay him in other ways, promise him money in the future, however they structure deals. But it'll be interesting next year because Farias will be back next year. We can't have 4 U22s. So that means you either promote one of them to full-fledged DP or young DP, still a young DP. These are U22 initiatives. It's different. It's confusing. But U22 initiatives are different than young DP. Our current young DP is Campana. So they could either sell Campana or buy him down. And that's a next year problem. But it will be interesting.
Well, I mean, if you want to know, now that you touched Campana, there was his representative, the guy that controls his image, I forgot the word, was talking about that he's not going to finish in Inter Miami, and that he has a lot of knocking doors for him to go to play Brazil and Europe. And I can tell you by some source that I heard from some people that I know that there's a team in Holland, there's a team in Netherlands that's also interested in him. So who knows? Maybe he leaves this half in the year or next year, and like you said, that will be the replacement of the DP on the sub-23.
But I say let's sell him. But I will tell you, I have Campana on the back of my black jersey. I am a Campana fan. I also believe in selling players as long as you're making money. Like, you could argue that we lost money on Gregory, but you got to do what you got to do to get under the cap. But as long as you're making money and the player's moving up and the club it's beneficial to the club, I agree with it. But I would be scared of losing Campana this year. I do not have full trust in Suarez finishing out the year. I know that some of the MLS pundits have been saying the same kind of thing. And I would agree because, look, his knees are bad. I know everybody will tell me he did great in the Brazil league last year and all that, but it's another year. And can he last potentially 60 games? No, he can't. We need Campana.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree. I mean, you got Campana, who's a young player. That he does well. He shows well. I mean, next to Messi, there was a lot of chemistry last year. You could have seen, when he scored and how they played together. So, yeah, I agree with you, man. I mean, if you give it up to me, I will try to push Campana. If it was me as a coach and, trying to work it on the field, I will try to push Campana as much as I can to try to make him, look good as a team, and try to sell him as the most highest, bet possible. If you don't play him, how can you sell him? You know what I mean?
Yeah, if they're not going to, yeah, exactly. Luis Barrios, a.k.a. Jerry, Borgia is better than Campana. Hot take. I think Campana is getting traded for Escobar. Borgia.
Interesting thought.
Borgia is good in the air, but I would not say he's better than Campana.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think, and that I think I'm with you, man. I mean, Campana has a better way of controlling the ball. He passes well. He has more run than Borg. He also is good at the head and the air. They both are. Borg is also good in that.
Borg makes a name for himself because look, he doesn't get a lot of playing time, but when he does, he scores. So I mean, that definitely. Sometimes we get jaded too because we'll see a player that come in and just for spots and they shine, right? And then you give them a start and you're like, well, that's not the same player. What happened? So for right now, I don't like we've sent him before to USL clubs. Let's keep him and let's bring him in and late in the game, things like that. Let him get on the head and bring us a win.
Totally agree. I think Borges is not bad, but I don't see him playing the same way and the same rhythm of the team. I don't see him in that type of game. He's more for he's more like the typical number 9 that waits for the ball, which I usually talk about that with Ed. So it's
all right. Lemuria is saying Busquets and Redondo should play together as double 5.
Yeah, all right, agree. I mean, like you said, Gregor's on replacement kind of like that's what they do,
Right.
And let me touch something quick about this. Remember in last game against Real Salt Lake that we won, Italia was talking about the first half. I don't know if you checked it out, but we had a formation of, the 4-3-3, the usual, right? But at times in the first half, you will have like a 4-4-2 with that what he was mentioning right now, the viewer, that double 5 playing into place. Two players trying to go back and forward. In this case, Taylor was doing that type of task, you can say, which I don't like him doing that because I prefer him playing on the left. But he didn't do it bad. I mean, he did it reasonably. I mean, he did it good. I can say that. And a lot of passing, a lot of control of the ball. It was good. What a game, man! What a game! I just get excited remembering this game that we just passed.
I should ignore this chat, but when things come across like this, I like to bring it up just because I think it's funny. Ramal says Gringos need to learn a lot about football. I don't know if he's talking about you or me. I'm the gringo in this room, but you are talking the tactics. You're talking the tactics. I'm just posing questions. Ramal, whatever your name is, maybe this isn't the right show for you. But
yeah. I mean, we all have different ways of seeing it, so I respect.
Exactly. Hey, look, I will never come on here and try to say I'm some sort of deep tactician. That's not my game. And everybody enjoys football differently. I am a fan of the game. Do I understand every little intricate chess move like you guys? Maybe not, but I have a pretty good understanding of the game and I enjoy it. And at the end of the day, this is a channel for people that enjoy football and want to talk about the nonsense. Sometimes want to talk about the X's and the O's, but sometimes we want to talk about what are the best empanadas in the stadium. So anyways, speaking of tonight's game, because we didn't speak of it, but we're going to do it now. Inter Miami's playing Los Angeles. In just a little while, they brought in 2 new players. Did not think these 2 designated players would get to play tonight. Gabriel Peck thought he might play tonight. Paint Still is available as well. It wasn't expected to be available. They got his visa done fast. One player being from I think it's Ghana, and then the other being from Brazil, and so.
Yeah, man. I never heard about these players, to be honest with you. I don't know how good they are or not. Let's see what happens.
I will tell you, the media is high on these guys. So they feel the reports that I've heard back are these 2 guys paired with I just drew a blank. I put him in the thumbnail. What's the name of their midfielder?
You mean the Galaxy midfielder?
Yeah.
It's,
Spanish guy.
Fagundes, is it?
No, I just drew a blank. Help me out in the chat. I put him in the
Delgado, Puig, Cerrillo.
Puig.
Okay,
Yeah.
Ricard
So the
Puig.
three of them, they feel like could be one of the most dangerous. Thank you, Alfredo. I had a brain fart there. The word is that Ricky Push. They that's how they say it. That's kind of how they pronounce it. Push. What's funny is you ask for one person to send it to you, and then 10 people send it to you. But thank you, everybody. Just a little brain fart.
Everybody must collaborate. They're doing a better job than Inter Miami folks.
Communication for sure. But the word is that these three could be one of the best attacking midfield in the league once they get gelling. But these are two brand new players. It'll be interesting to see. I would assume that they probably don't start, but they might see some time in the second half. But they're both wingers, and between the two of them, I think they spent around $19 million between the two players. So LA Galaxy's really high on these two players. But the one thing I would say in Inter Miami and Galaxy, I think this could be, I know that there was talk about what is the prediction. People saying 3-1. I see in the chat. I was predicting like 2-1. Both teams have a similar problem in the defense. I'm not sure how familiar you are with LA, Marco, but they both have a slow defense, and they both teams are lacking a strong center defender.
Yeah. Oh, I'll be honest with you. The Galaxy I haven't followed that much. I'm not sure how they're doing now. I can tell you on our side, we have our defense, comparing this last game that we had against Real Salt Lake and the preseason, it was completely different. We had a little more secureness on the back. I can see they're still slow, but they were playing more. There was more communication on the back. I don't know if you saw that. The thing that worries me a lot is that you have these 5'6", 5'7" players on height. Next to a 6'2" Avilés, and I think it's a 6'1" or 6 feet tall Christoph, and they went on the head. They went on the hair. I don't know, how can we have these tall defenders and these shorter forwards can jump higher than our defenders? That's something that's.
But you said tall defenders. You also realize this is crazy, that our backup right now, according to Tata, because he did it once already, and I saw an interview where he believes in this, that our backup center defender is Noah Allen.
I don't agree.
Listen. I'm taller than Noah Allen. And you tower over me. Somebody made some comment in one of the videos at how you make us look like little boys. But we should put you in the defense. But I like Noah Allen as a player, but not as a center defender. And he came in as center defense, and Tata said something to the effect that he believes in him, that he's got a good left foot and all this stuff. Great left foot. All right, put him on the left.
His potential has been that always. The guy's been playing since we know him in that position, And he hasn't done. I know he hasn't been like the best side player or whatever, but he's done it decently. Some games he's been,
But would you put him in the middle?
Maybe I will do that.
You would put him in the middle. You would put the shortest guy in the center.
No. I'm saying I'm talking about the sideline. What's it called?
Oh yeah, keep him on the sides. Yes, keep him on the wing.
I'm not in the middle. No, but if you want to ask me where else can you relocate him maybe to make him play, and I was telling you like in the midfield as a lefty or whatever, but not a defender, not a center defender.
Right, and that's our backup. But luckily. And our defense is slow. We got an old gray hair man in the defense. He's got more grays than I do, and our Ukrainian defender back there. But LA has a similar problem. They also are known to have a very slow defense. Now they also had a very poor last year. They're hoping to turn it around this year. There's no Chicharito this year, so it's kind of almost like in a rebuilding phase. So I would say, we have a good chance to win tonight, but It's on the road. Playing on the road is never easy. If you were to, last week we had a segment that I heard from some people that wasn't their favorite segment, but we had a segment on gambling last week. If you had to put money down, Marco, would you put money down on Inter Miami? Now, your hard-earned money, would you put money down in a Hard Rock bet to win? And after you answer, I'll tell you what I did do.
Okay, I will personally do it. I feel that we're going to win this game. I mean, we have if we play as we play with Real Salt Lake, I think we have a big chance to keep repeating this. Because I mean, in the first half we were playing so. I feel like I get the chills, man. For me, seeing the first half of Inter Miami was kind of seeing a little bit about the Barcelona type of game.
But
because we were playing.
They made it fun and they made it exciting with that little Barcelona style for sure. But keep it in perspective. It was Real Salt Lake.
True. True.
They're not the worst team. Look, Real Salt Lake is no Toronto, right? True. They're better than Toronto, but they're not.
Agreed.
They're an average to below average team. Maybe you could argue that they're above average, but they're right there. They're average. And so if we're supposed to be this team that wins so many championships, we should have blown them away. And we just
mentioned that LA Galaxy is also doing bad. So in a way, I think, not doing bad, but they're like in reconstruction.
They're in a rebuilding phase.
Replica of what happened,
They're in a rebuilding phase. So before I tell you what I did put money down.
No, Peter, let me know.
I did put money down. But before we get to that, let's talk about who's out. Because this list is getting longer and longer by the day. So we know Kremoski's out, sports hernia injury. I heard somebody tweeting, and I don't know how accurate they are, that he's looking good and could come back soon. But they said 2 to 3 months. So we should expect minimum 1 more month.
Yeah.
Facundo, we know Farias is out. Ian Frey, man, this poor kid, my boy from Coconut Creek, my neighbor, basically, cannot catch a break. Just when you think he might be coming back, he's not. He's still out from his ACL. I thought he should be recovered by now because he was taken out early last year. Negri still out. We saw him training. Thought he might be back this year. Robbie Robinson.
I want him back. I want him back so bad.
Negri?
I want Delhi to sit down and I like the way he played on the right side. I mean, that's the last impression I remember him doing a good job on that side. I know he's a lefty, but he was doing a better job than Jetly, man, coming up back and forward in the game. So I miss him. I really miss him. I like him on that side,
See, Luke,
hopefully he comes back.
Jerry is saying Kremoski's coming back soon. So that is the buzz that he's coming back soon. But then so this is crazy to me. These last 3 are crazy.
Yeah.
Frere, I don't even know how. Teach me. How do I say his last name?
Freire. Yeah.
Like Friday, but with an A. Friday instead of Friday. Friday. Yeah. All right. Let me see if I could do that on a regular basis. Friday, he just got here. And he's already got a left quad injury. I mean, are we training these players too hard? Bigger issue, Drake Callender. I know some people that listen to this show aren't the biggest Drake Callender fans. I am. Yes, he's questionable with his feet. He scared me a few times.
Yeah. Yep.
But we're better with Drake in the back. I think he plays tonight. I don't know. Look, by now, 8 o'clock, I don't know. The starting lineup's out yet? It's possible.
We haven't got the message yet. I haven't seen it yet.
But
yeah, I mean, seeing this list grow and grow, it makes me feel like there's something going on the training side. The physical. There's somewhere. How do you call the physical trainer? I mean, he has to work a little more on these players.
But
so
it's been this way.
These are all young players.
Yeah,
this is not like the old guys to say. They're.
It's been this way from the very beginning. And I think at one point they changed out the entire training staff. And so I don't understand. Look, I think you have to obviously train players hard because you're in South Florida. They got to get used to this heat. But they may be pushing them too hard, especially when somebody like David Ruiz, kid, is also a questionable left calf, may not be playing. Louis Rodrigues says the starting 11's out. I don't see it on Twitter. I just pulled up their Twitter. I don't see it out just yet. But okay. So what did I do with my betting?
What happened, Peter?
Tell me. Trying to
I'm
figure out my
curious,
screen. I put $20 down.
It's a lot of money, Pete.
For me, it is because I'm just playing around, right?
It's a lot of money.
20. No, it's not. It's not. If I'm gonna play around with this sports betting app, I'm just gonna goof around with like $5 here, $5 there, $10 here.
Yeah,
I'm not stupid. I'm not putting $200 down on anything. So I put $20 for a tie.
Tie. Oh, you think they're gonna tie? Look at that.
I want a win, and if you ask me what I think might happen I'm hoping for a win, but on the road is tough in MLS.
True.
They did not do well on the road during their preseason tour.
True.
So if it was against a better team, I might say we're straight up going to lose. But the fact that LA is also somewhat of a struggling team, still trying to rebuild themselves. They're two new players, haven't had time to really gel with the team. We don't even know how much time they're gonna get if they get any time. So I put down tie. Also, the odds were better for a tie. So I figured, if I win, it's like I made like $45 out of it, something like that.
That's a good return. I will pay for the drinks on the stadium next game, man.
Oh, here it is. Hang on. Real quick, we're gonna end the show in just a minute, but before we do, let's end it with, since this is a pregame show, let's end it right here with this. Starting 11, here we got. Calendar is starting, which I expected. Alba, Christoph, Aviles, and Yedlin in the back. Yedlin, I know you're not. I don't think you're a believer in Yedlin. Am I right?
I don't like Yedlin. I'm not
into
him.
A lot of people say, "Oh, he doesn't run." I see him run nonstop. I think he's a great runner. But where I have questions with him lately, especially, is there's a lot of just giving the ball away. A lot of bad passes. It's kind of the same thing we got with number 20 that's starting as well. Gomez can get into good positions. Clearly he scored, but he also loves to give that ball away a lot.
True. I mean, I thought he was going to do better after being champions in South America with his country,
right.
But he hasn't done that good. I mean, he wasn't bad in this last game. I think he kind of had a decent, performance. But he still owes us. He still owes us for all the, I have faith on him though. I always have said that. I think this kid's going to be someone like Redondo. That's going to probably be one of our hopefully best midfielders of our team, or even the MLS in the future. Hopefully that becomes true because we need that. But he has been struggling on trying to perform, in a way that we all accept, or see him, or want him. That's the right word. Want him to be. This starting lineup is the same as last one, man. It's the same as last one.
It worked. So why change it?
Yeah, I like it. But I thought that he was going to probably change it because, on the preseason, he was playing a lot with a line of 3 or 5, with a line of 5 which becomes a 3 on the back. And I said maybe away games he was going to do that, but no, it's impressive. I like it. If you ask me, I prefer this lineup.
I would agree. I think he played with the 3 and the 5. He did it last year as well. I think he played with it enough to realize it's not going to work with the personnel that he has. That clearly is the formation he wants to play. He tried to force it, and it didn't work. And we here on this channel were complaining that he was bullheaded, not open to change, that he's stubborn, all those kind of things. And I think he was to some extent. That's the formation he wants to use. But I think he's realized it is not the formation that works with these players. And that I can respect for a coach to say,
especially with the defense that we have. I mean,
if
it wasn't because of our defense, that would be a great formation because we have the players to be like so offensive. Because that line in the back with 3 defenders helps to be more offensive, and then transition to be defensive. I really like that. I personally, I'm the ones that like those lines, those 3 on the back always. But
Mike V bringing up an interesting point here. You can't play Suarez back-to-back games within a week. Watch Suarez pull an Aaron Rodgers.
True.
That's why I'm happy we have Campana still. But
I mean, I don't know if you noticed, Peter, but after the game when Suarez came out, I don't know if you noticed that. Actually, I'm going to send you the recording. We can probably upload it one time. I forgot to do that, but he wasn't running that well. His walking was kind of weird. Like you will say he has some pain going on when he walks or whatever, and tries to hide it.
He says that's just how he walks now. That is always the case.
Imagine now.
Now, not when he was younger, but now. That's an everyday occurrence. Even when he was in Brazil, this is just how he walks now, according to him. Now, yeah, sometimes it does look worse than others. Even the commentators talk about it. I mean, it seems to be a thing, but he's trying to downplay it, saying, it's just how I walk.
I mean, the perception is what we see, So in a way, what we're seeing is a guy running in a weird way. It's like, there's something going on.
I like
what he says now, like you change it.
I like what Carlos says. Carlos says, look like Suarez needed some WD-40. Oil up them wheels. Oil up them wheels right there.
Good one. I might agree with that too.
All right, everybody. I hope you guys all have your Apple TV all situated. I had to pay for mine, which, hey, look, some of you may be like, whatever, I pay for mine. But I have season tickets. I'm supposed to get it. I didn't. Anyways, I hope everybody's got their viewing situated, and I think the pregame starts at 8:30. So in just a little over, about 23 minutes or so, we'll start seeing some pregame stuff. So everybody, go grab yourself a beverage of choice, enjoy the game, and it should be a lot of fun. Speaking of a lot of fun, Marco, tonight it was different and it was fun having you on with me.
Thanks for having me, Peter.
And for those of you that don't know, Marco is becoming more and more a part of this channel, and he's the third partner of this. So you'll see him more and more on the Spanish, or when one of us is out, he'll sub in on here and doing stuff behind the scenes as well. So Marco is a great addition to the Futbol Miami TV that we just haven't talked about here, but everybody on the Spanish show already knows. But so a lot of fun tonight. Everybody in the chat, of course.
I'm sorry now, and yeah, I mean, this is what I like. I love to talk about football, soccer, and yeah, we're gonna put more on our side. I will be that guy that wants to talk about tactics, like you said, whatever. But you'll see me talking about it. So that's
If I start yawning, to change the topic. Anyways, everybody, thanks so much for watching. You guys in the chat, make it fun. If it's not for you, it's no fun. So thanks, everybody. What is that? What are you showing me?
Think pink. The brain. I have a pink brain here, man.
Oh, all right. I think we all have pink brains, but I think that's just kind of how it works. Anyways, thanks everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to go further and support this channel, look into joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/Futbol Miami TV. Thanks to everybody for watching. Please, and we will see. I'm looking for my outro as I slow down because my button mashing didn't work. So, all right, everybody, see ya.